Have you ever wondered why your life feels heavy, even when nothing outside has changed? Why some mornings you wake up with energy, and others you wake up already tired before the day begins? It is not only about the world around you, it is about the world inside your mind. What you think, again and again, becomes the life you live. If your thoughts are full of fear, your life becomes smaller. If your thoughts are full of hope, your life opens like a new day. Comment if you've ever felt this way. In this video, I will share with you a truth that can change everything. The truth is simple but powerful. You become what you think. Your thoughts are seeds. If you plant fear, you grow fear. If you plant courage, you grow courage. If you plant doubt, you grow doubt. But if you plant love, confidence, and strength, then your life begins to shine. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you will see how to take control of your thoughts and how to shape your life with them. By the time you finish this video, you will feel lighter, stronger, and ready to live with new power. Chapter 1. Close your eyes for a moment and think about the last time you felt weak. Maybe it was when you spoke to someone and your voice was shaking. Maybe it was when you looked in the mirror and thought you were not good enough. Or maybe it was when you wanted to start something new, but your mind whispered, "You will fail." Those moments are not only about what happened outside, they are about the words you said inside. Your thoughts became your chains. Now imagine another moment, a day when you told yourself, "I can do this." Maybe it was small. Maybe you decided to walk even when you were tired. Maybe you studied even when the lesson was hard. Or maybe you said hello to a stranger when you were shy. That thought, that little voice of courage, pushed you forward. That one small thought became your power. Do you see the difference? The same person, the same heart, the same body, but two different lives, one built from fear, the other built from courage. And the only difference is the thought that started inside. This is why I say, you become what you think. Let me tell you a story. There was once a boy who dreamed of painting. He loved colors, he loved shapes, but he always told himself, "I am not talented. Nobody will care." So he never painted. Years passed, and his dream stayed inside him, locked away. One day he met another boy. This boy also loved painting, but he told himself, "I will try. I don't care if it's bad. I just want to paint." And so he painted, day after day. His hands got stronger. His art got better. And one day, people loved his work. What is the difference between them? It was not their talent. It was their thoughts. One believed he could, the other believed he could not, and both became exactly what they thought. Here is the deep truth. Your brain listens to you. When you say, "I am weak," your brain becomes weak. When you say, "I am strong," your brain becomes strong. When you say, "I cannot," your brain closes the door. But when you say, "I can," your brain opens new roads. Your life follows your words. Sometimes people think thoughts are small. They think, "It's only in my head. Nobody can hear it." But thoughts are not small. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts are like a river. Where your thoughts flow, your life flows. If your thoughts go to fear every day, your life becomes a cage. If your thoughts go to hope every day, your life becomes a garden. Retention spike. Your life today is the shadow of the thoughts you had yesterday. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you say, "I cannot change my thoughts. They come to me by themselves." But let me tell you a secret. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thought to listen to. Thoughts are like birds flying over your head. You cannot stop them from flying, but you can stop them from building a nest in your mind. You cannot stop a negative thought from appearing, but you can choose not to keep it. Think about it. If a friend said to you, "You are stupid. You cannot do anything," you would feel hurt. You would not want that friend near you. But how many times have you said the same to yourself? And you believed it. You trusted the cruel voice inside more than the kind voice outside. Isn't that strange? You would never allow another person to speak to you that way, yet you allow yourself. Retention spike. You are your own best friend or your own worst enemy depending on the thoughts you choose to believe. So here is the first step in this journey. Begin to notice your thoughts. Notice what you tell yourself when you wake up. Notice what you say to yourself when you fail. Notice what you whisper when you dream. Your life is waiting for you to listen. And once you see your thoughts clearly, you can begin to change them. This is not about lying to yourself. It is not about saying everything is perfect when it is not. It is about speaking with courage instead of fear. It is about saying, "I am learning," instead of, "I am stupid." It is about saying, "I will try again," instead of, "I will never succeed." It is about choosing thoughts that give you energy, not thoughts that steal it. Remember this. Every great change begins as a thought. Every invention, every new life, every dream. A person thinks it first, then they live it. If you want to change your life, start with your thoughts. You cannot build a new house with broken bricks, and you cannot build a new life with broken thoughts. By the end of this video, you will know how to catch your thoughts, how to guide them, and how to use them to create a better life. But first, you must believe this one truth. You become what you think. Chapter 2. When you look at a seed, it is small. It looks powerless. But when you put that seed in the soil, water it, and let the sun touch it, something amazing happens. It grows into a tree. That tree can give shade, fruit, even shelter for birds, all from a small seed. Your thoughts are the same. Each thought is a seed. What you plant again and again in your mind, you grow in your life. Think about this. When you tell yourself every day, "I am unlucky, nothing works for me," you are planting that seed. And soon, everything you see looks unlucky. You find problems in small things. You notice doors that close, but never see doors that open. You carry that belief like a heavy bag on your back, and life feels harder than it really is. But when you tell yourself, "I can try, I can learn, I can change," you plant a seed of hope. And soon, you see more chances. You notice small victories. You feel lighter. The same life looks different because your thoughts are different. I remember a story of a man who wanted to run a race. He was not strong. He was not fast. People laughed at him. But every morning, he told himself one thought: "I will finish." Not, "I will win." Not, "I will be the best." Just, "I will finish." That thought became his seed. Day after day, he practiced. Day after day, he believed. When the race came, he was slow, but he kept running. Others gave up, but he crossed the line. He did not win the gold, but he won his life. Why? Because the thought he planted grew into strength. Here is something powerful. Your mind does not argue with you. If you say, "I am weak," it believes you. If you say, "I am strong," it believes you. Your brain listens like a loyal student. It does not say, "Wait, is this true?" It simply accepts. That is why you must be careful with what you repeat. Retention spike. Your brain is always listening to the story you tell about yourself. Make it a story worth living. But you may say, "How can I control my thoughts? They just come to me." Yes, thoughts come like waves. You cannot stop the ocean from moving, but you can learn to surf. You can choose which wave to ride. Negative thoughts will come. Doubts will come. Fear will come. But you do not have to build your life on them. You can choose to let them pass, like clouds in the sky. And you can choose to hold on to the thoughts that give you energy. There was a woman who wanted to learn English. Every time she opened her book, a thought came, "I am too old. I will never learn." She listened to it for years, and she stayed silent. One day, she asked herself, "What if I choose another thought?" So she told herself, "I am learning, little by little." That thought became her seed. She practiced every day. Her English was not perfect, but her life was different. She made new friends. She spoke with courage. She became proud of herself. The only change was the seed she planted in her mind. Let me ask you something. What seeds are you planting right now? Are they seeds of fear, seeds of anger, seeds of doubt, or seeds of love? Seeds of courage? Seeds of possibility? Because one day, those seeds will grow. And when they grow, you will live inside the forest they create. Retention spike. Your future is already waiting inside your thoughts today. So the second step in this journey is to become a gardener of your mind. Watch what you plant. Notice the words you repeat. When you say, "I can't," you plant a weed. When you say, "I can try," you plant a flower. When you say, "Nobody loves me," you plant loneliness. When you say, "I can give love," you plant connection. Life gives back what you plant inside. This is not magic. This is not a trick. This is how your brain works. When you believe something, your brain searches for proof. If you believe you are a failure, you will notice every mistake. If you believe you are capable, you will notice every chance. Your thoughts tell your eyes what to see. And your life becomes the picture your thoughts have painted. So tonight, when you lie in bed, listen to yourself. What words do you repeat in your mind? Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, what is the first thought you give yourself? Be careful, because that thought is your seed. That seed is your beginning, and one day, it will become your life. By the end of this video, you will not only understand this truth, you will begin to practice it. You will become the gardener of your own mind. And once you take care of your garden, life will surprise you with beauty you did not expect. Chapter 3. Have you ever noticed how the words you say to yourself feel heavier than the words other people say to you? Someone may tell you, "You are not good enough." And yes, it hurts. But when you say it to yourself, it cuts even deeper. Because you carry that voice all day, everywhere you go. You cannot run away from your own thoughts. That is why your inner voice is the most powerful teacher in your life. It can teach you fear, or it can teach you courage. It can make you weak, or it can make you strong. Let me tell you about a young man who wanted to start a business. He had ideas, he had dreams, but his mind kept whispering, "You will fail. You are not smart. Nobody will trust you." He believed those words. So he never started. His dream stayed locked inside. Years later, he met another man who had also wanted to start a business. This second man had no money, no great education, but his inner voice said, "I will try. I will learn on the way. I will keep going." He listened to that voice, and he started. Was it easy? No. He failed many times. But because he told himself to keep going, he stood up again. And one day, his small dream grew big. Both men lived the life their thoughts allowed. This is the power of self-talk. What you tell yourself shapes your life more than what others tell you. If you say, I am stupid, your mind closes. If you say, I am learning, your mind opens. If you say, I cannot, your heart gets smaller. If you say, I will try, your heart gets stronger. Retention spike. Your voice inside can be your prison or your freedom. But here is something important. Your inner voice is not always your enemy. Sometimes it is only a habit. Maybe your parents used to say negative words, and now your mind repeats them. Maybe your teacher told you once, you are not good enough, and now your brain plays that memory again and again. You think it is the truth, but it is only an echo, and like any echo, it fades when you stop shouting into the cave. If you stop feeding your mind with those words, they will lose their power. Think about when you were a child. You learned to walk. Did you tell yourself, I cannot? No. You fell down, but you stood up again. You fell many times, but your little voice said, one more try. If you had listened to doubt, you would still be crawling, but you listened to courage, so you walked. That same power is still inside you. You only forgot to use it. Here is the deep truth. Your inner voice is trained. And if it can be trained to speak fear, it can also be trained to speak strength. You can teach it new words. You can give it new music. You can turn it into a friend that pushes you forward. Retention spike. If you can learn to speak kindly to yourself, the world outside will never break you. I know this is not easy. You may wake up tomorrow and hear the same old voice. You are not enough. But this time, you can answer back. You can say, I hear you, but I will not believe you. I am learning. I am growing. I am enough. At first it feels strange, even fake. But with time, your brain accepts it, just like it accepted the negative words before. Remember, your brain is always listening. It does not argue. It believes what you repeat. So repeat what makes you strong. Let me give you a picture. Imagine your inner voice as a friend walking beside you. Would you want a friend who says, you are nothing, you will fail, give up? Or would you want a friend who says, you can try, you can grow, keep going? The truth is, that friend is already there, and you decide which one you feed. The more you listen to the kind voice, the louder it becomes. The more you ignore the cruel voice, the quieter it becomes. So the third step in this journey is to train your inner voice. Catch the words you say to yourself. Ask, would I say this to someone I love? If not, do not say it to yourself. Replace it with something gentle, something strong. Speak to yourself as if you are your own child. Because you are. You are raising your own future with the words you speak today. And when you change your self-talk, you change your future. You walk taller. You dream bigger. You act braver. Not because the world outside is easier, but because the world inside is kinder. Chapter 4. There is a saying, where the mind goes, the body follows. Think about that for a moment. If you believe you are weak, your shoulders drop, your eyes look down, and your energy fades. If you believe you are strong, your back straightens, your eyes rise, and your steps grow firm. The thought comes first. The body obeys. Your whole life is shaped this way by invisible words inside you that later become visible actions. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl who wanted to speak in public. Every time she stood up, her hand shook, her voice cracked, and she wanted to run away. Not because she had nothing to say, but because her mind kept shouting, you will fail, you will forget, they will laugh. Her body believed the thought, so she shook, she forgot, she froze. One day she tried something different. She told herself, I will speak with calm. Even if I make mistakes, I will share my heart. That thought changed her body. She stood taller. Her voice was not perfect, but it was steady. People listened. What changed? Not her skill, not her audience, only her thought. This is how life works. Your thoughts create feelings. Your feelings create actions. Your actions create results. If you think, I am not worthy, you feel small. When you feel small, you avoid chances. When you avoid chances, your life stays small. But if you think, I am learning and growing, you feel hopeful. When you feel hopeful, you take steps. When you take steps, your life expands. Retention spike. A single thought can be the root of 1,000 actions. Many people believe they must wait until they feel good before they can act. They say, I will start when I feel confident. I will try when I feel ready. But here is the truth. Feelings follow thoughts, and actions follow feelings. You do not need to wait for courage. You only need to plant a thought of courage. The feeling will grow, and the action will follow. Imagine a man standing at the edge of a swimming pool. If he tells himself, the water is too cold, I will sink, I cannot swim, his body freezes. He never jumps. But if he says, I can try, I will move slowly, I can learn, his body softens. He steps in, he swims, he grows. The pool is the same, the water is the same, but the thought decides the story. This is why athletes use affirmations. Before a game, they repeat, I am fast, I am strong, I am ready. They are not just words, they are signals to the body. The body listens and prepares. Your life can be the same. If you tell yourself each morning, I am alive, I am grateful, I am learning, your day listens. It shapes itself around those thoughts. If you say, today will be terrible, I hate my life, I cannot change, your day listens too, and it shapes itself into the prison you describe. Retention spike. Your words are commands, and your life is obeying them right now. But maybe you ask, how do I change thoughts when fear feels real? The answer is practice. Just like training your muscles, you can train your mind. Every time a fearful thought comes, you notice it. You don't fight it, you don't hate it, you just say, I see you, but I choose another thought. Then you breathe and say something simple. I can try. That is enough. Small thoughts create small actions. Small actions create big change. There was a man who feared interviews. Every time he entered the room, he thought, they will reject me. And each time, his nervousness showed. He never got the job. Then he practiced a new thought. I will share who I am. That thought gave him calm. He spoke with honesty. One day he was hired. The job did not come because the world changed. It came because his thought changed. So the fourth step in this journey is to remember that your thoughts shape your body, your feelings, your actions, and your results. Do not wait for confidence. Create confidence with thought. Do not wait for peace. Begin peace with thought. Do not wait for strength. Plant strength with thought. You become what you think because your life is the shadow of your mind. And when you change the shadow, the shape of your life also changes. Chapter 5. Have you ever asked yourself why some people rise from nothing and others stay stuck even when they have everything? The answer is not only money, not only education, not only luck. The answer begins in the mind. Two people can face the same problem, but their thoughts decide two different futures. One thinks, this is the end. The other thinks, this is the beginning. And life answers according to the thought. There was a man who lost his job. He sat at home repeating in his mind, "I am useless. I am finished." Each day he became weaker. He stopped trying. He stopped believing. His life sank deeper, not because he had no job, but because his thoughts told him he had no hope. Then there was another man who also lost his job. He told himself, "This is painful, but maybe it is a chance. I will learn something new. I will find another way." He started small, teaching himself skills, looking for new doors. His life changed because his mind said, "This is not the end." The same storm, the same loss, two different seeds, two different lives. Retention spike. Your problem does not decide your future. Your thought about the problem does. Think of your mind as a lens. If the lens is dirty, you see everything dark and broken. If the lens is clear, you see light even in difficult places. Thoughts are the cloth that clean the lens. Every time you replace a dark thought with a hopeful one, your vision clears. And when you see differently, you live differently. This does not mean you ignore pain. It does not mean you pretend life is easy. It means you choose what story to tell yourself about your pain. If you say, "This pain will destroy me," it grows heavier. If you say, "This pain will teach me," it grows lighter. Pain is real, but suffering is often the story we tell ourselves about that pain. There was a woman who went through heartbreak. She thought, "I am broken. Nobody will love me again." That thought kept her in sadness for years. One day, she changed the story. She said, "This heartbreak is not the end. It is teaching me strength. It is showing me what I need." Slowly, she stood up. Slowly, she smiled again. Later, she found love again. But even before that, she found love inside herself. Because her thought changed her story. This is a secret many people never learn. Life is not what happens to you. Life is what you think about what happens to you. Your mind has two voices. One is fear. One is hope. Fear says, "Stop here. You cannot go on." Hope says, "Keep moving. Something better is ahead." Fear builds walls. Hope builds doors. And whichever voice you listen to becomes the path you walk. Retention spike. Fear and hope both knock on your door. Your future depends on which one you let in. Maybe you are facing something heavy right now. Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe someone rejected you. Maybe you feel stuck in your job or alone in your home. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always control the thought you choose about it. You can choose to see failure as proof you are worthless or as proof you are learning. You can choose to see rejection as proof nobody cares or as proof that the right people are still waiting. The fifth step in this journey is to change the story you tell yourself. Ask, "What does this mean for me?" Then choose a thought that gives you energy, not one that steals it. When you do this, problems turn into lessons. Lessons turn into growth. Growth turns into strength. Remember, your thoughts write the book of your life. You are the author. Do not write a story of defeat when you can write a story of courage. Do not write a story of ending when you can write a story of beginning. So tonight, before you sleep, think about one problem in your life. Then ask yourself, what is the story I am telling myself about this? Can I choose a better story? If you do this, even one small time, you will see that the world inside you begins to change. And when the world inside you changes, the world outside cannot stay the same. Chapter 6. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Maybe you want to speak English with confidence. Maybe you want a better job, a kinder relationship, or more peace in your heart. Whatever picture you see, it begins with your thoughts today. The future is not a mystery waiting far away. The future is being built right now, inside your mind. There was a young student who dreamed of becoming a teacher. Every night she told herself, "I am too weak. I cannot do this. It is impossible." She studied, but with fear. She walked into exams already defeated in her mind. And each time, she failed. Then one day, she changed one sentence. She began to say, "I am learning. I am becoming better every day." At first, nothing seemed different, but inside her, the seed was planted. She worked harder, not because she had to, but because she believed she could grow. Soon her results improved. Years later, she became a teacher, not because the world outside changed, but because her mind inside changed. Retention spike. Your future is born inside your thoughts before it is born in the world. This is the secret of vision. Vision is not only what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see with your mind. If you fill your mind with fear, your vision is dark. If you fill it with hope, your vision shines. And life follows the picture you carry. Think of your thoughts like a paintbrush. Each day, you are painting the canvas of your future. If you paint with doubt, the picture is gray. If you paint with courage, the picture has color. If you paint with love, the picture is beautiful. You may not finish the picture today, but every stroke matters. Every thought you repeat adds another color. There was a man who wanted to run a marathon. Everyone laughed at him because he was weak and heavy. But each morning, he painted a picture in his mind, himself crossing the finish line. He thought about it again and again. His body was not ready at first, but his mind was. So he trained. Slowly, he grew stronger. And one day, he crossed the line he'd already crossed in his mind 1,000 times. The picture in his thoughts became the picture in his life. Here is something powerful. Your brain cannot always tell the difference between a thought and reality. If you think about fear again and again, your body feels fear. If you think about success again and again, your body prepares for success. That is why visualization works. It is not magic. It is training. When you see something in your mind, you prepare your whole self to live it. So let me ask you, what are you seeing right now? Do you see yourself failing? Do you see yourself weak? Or do you see yourself growing, speaking, living with courage? Because whatever you see most will pull you closer to it. Retention spike. You cannot walk into a future you have never allowed yourself to imagine. This does not mean everything will be easy. Life will test you. Life will give you challenges. But your vision will guide you through them. If you see yourself as strong, you will rise after falling. If you see yourself as weak, you will stay on the ground. The sixth step in this journey is to create a picture in your mind of who you want to become. Not a perfect person, not a superhero, but the best version of you. Speak it in simple words. I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming. Repeat it. See it. Feel it. And little by little, you will live it. Remember this. Your mind is a mirror. Whatever you show it, it reflects back into your life. Show it fear, and fear returns. Show it courage, and courage returns. Show it love, and love returns. So tonight, before you sleep, imagine yourself as the person you want to be. Not far away, not someday, but now. See yourself speaking with courage. See yourself walking with strength. See yourself smiling with peace. Hold that thought like a seed in your hand. And tomorrow, Water it with belief. Because the truth is simple. You become what you think, and your future is waiting for you to think it into life. Chapter 7. Every person carries two worlds. One is the world outside the people, the places, the problems, the noise. The other is the world inside the thoughts, the voices, the pictures, the silent conversations you have with yourself. And here is the truth. The inside world is always stronger than the outside one. Because no matter what happens outside, it is your thoughts inside that decide how you live through it. Think about this. A storm comes. One person thinks, I will die. I cannot survive this. Another person thinks, it is hard, but I will stand. I will rebuild. Both face the same rain, the same wind, but their lives are not the same. Because life is not only about the storm, it is about the thought you hold while you stand in it. Retention spike. The storm cannot break you unless your thoughts agree to be broken. I once heard a story about two brothers who grew up in the same home. Their father was addicted, violent, and careless. One brother grew up repeating to himself, I am doomed. I will be like him. And he became exactly that. The other brother told himself, I will not live this story. I will change. He worked, he studied, he grew into a kind man, a loving father. What made the difference? Not their past, not their father, but the thought they chose to believe. This is why your inner world matters so much. If you do not guide your thoughts, they will guide you. And often, they will lead you into the same darkness again and again. But if you learn to guide them, you will walk into light, even when the outside world is dark. Sometimes people say, but my life is too heavy. My problems are too big. My thoughts cannot change them. I understand that feeling, but let me tell you, your thoughts may not remove every problem, but they decide whether you drown in it or rise above it. If you think, I am powerless, the problem will crush you. If you think, I can learn, I can grow stronger, the problem may stay, but you will grow taller than it. Imagine a bird inside a cage. If the bird believes the cage is its whole world, it will never try to fly, even if the door opens. But if the bird believes there is sky beyond the bars, it will wait, it will prepare, and the moment the door opens, it will soar. The cage may be real, but the thought decides the destiny. So, here is the deep truth. Your inner world creates your outer life. If you carry peace inside, you will find peace outside, even in noise. If you carry fear inside, you will find fear outside, even in safe places. If you carry love inside, you will see love everywhere. Retention spike. The world you see is often only the mirror of the thoughts you hold. The seventh step in this journey is to build your inner world with care. Wake up and give yourself one strong thought. I can. Walk through the day and repeat one kind thought. I matter. Go to bed and close your eyes with one peaceful thought. I am grateful. These small thoughts build walls of strength inside you. And when the outside world shakes, you will not fall. Remember, nobody can control the thoughts in your head but you. Others can hurt you. Others can speak against you. Others can try to pull you down. But they cannot enter your mind unless you open the door. Protect that door. Guard it. Fill your inner world with thoughts that lift you. Because when the inside is strong, the outside cannot destroy you. So tonight, ask yourself, what is the world inside me right now? Is it a prison of fear or a garden of hope? The choice is yours, and whichever one you grow will decide how you live tomorrow. Because you do not just live in the world around you. You live in the world you create inside your own thoughts. and you always become what you think. Chapter 8. Do you know the most dangerous prison in the world? It is not made of steel bars. It is not guarded by soldiers. It is built from thoughts. Many people live inside it without even knowing. They wake up each morning, carry their routines, speak to their families, go to work, smile at friends, but inside, they are trapped. The walls are made of words like, I cannot, I am not enough, I will never change. And the key to escape is in their own pocket, but they forget to use it. There was a man who wanted to travel. He always dreamed of seeing the ocean, but his thoughts told him, I am too poor, I am too busy, I am too old. He repeated these words for 20 years. He never even tried. One day his friend, who had less money and less free time, went and saw the ocean. When the man asked, How? The friend answered, Because I told myself I could. Do you see? The chains were never money or age. The chains were the thoughts. Retention spike. The strongest prison is not outside you. It is the one you build inside with your own thoughts. But there is also another truth. Just as your thoughts can trap you, they can also free you. A woman once said, I cannot speak English. People will laugh. But she changed one word. Instead of, I cannot, she said, I can try. That small key opened the lock. She spoke. She made mistakes. She laughed at herself. But slowly, her prison broke. And one day, she spoke freely. Not because the world outside gave her freedom, but because her mind inside chose it. Here is the deep power. You are the guard and the prisoner, the builder and the breaker of your own mental walls. You cannot always choose what happens outside, but you can choose what you repeat inside. And when you change those words, the walls begin to fall. Maybe you are living in such a prison now. Maybe you say, I cannot learn. I cannot change. I cannot move forward. Stop and ask yourself, who gave you that thought? Was it a parent? A teacher? A stranger? Or did you create it by listening too long to fear? And now ask, why do you still keep it? If it hurts you, if it limits you, why not drop it? Think of this. Your thoughts are like clothes. Some fit you. Some are too small, too heavy, too old. But many people keep wearing the same clothes even when they no longer fit. They keep wearing the thought, I am weak, even when they are strong. They keep wearing the thought, I am broken, even when they are healing. Why? Because they forget they can choose a new outfit. You can change your clothes. You can change your thoughts. And when you do, you walk into life differently. There was a story of a farmer. Every day, he tied his cow with a rope to a post. One day, he untied the cow, but the cow did not move. It believed the rope was still there. It stayed in one place, trapped by nothing but its memory. Many of us live the same way. We are free, but we believe we are tied, and so we never move. Retention spike. Sometimes the rope that holds you is not real. It is only a thought you never questioned. So the 8th step in this journey is to question your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought true, or is it just a rope from the past? Does this thought give me strength, or does it steal my strength? Does this thought open doors, or does it lock them? If it locks them, let it go. You are free. You always were. Remember this. Your thoughts are not chains unless you believe them. Your mind is not a cage unless you close the door yourself. And the key has always been in your hand. It is the power to think a new thought, to believe a new story, to step into a new life. So tonight, choose one thought, that has been holding you prisoner. Look at it clearly, then speak back to it. You do not own me. I can choose another thought. And the moment you do, the walls inside begin to crack. Because the truth is simple but powerful. You do not have to live trapped. You can step out. You can walk free. And you can create a new life, one thought at a time. Chapter 9. Life is not only what you do. Life is what you think before you do. Every dream, every change, every step begins in the mind first. The person who thinks, I cannot, lives small. The person who thinks, I can, lives wide. The person who thinks, I am weak, feels heavy. The person who thinks, I am learning, feels light. And the truth is this: in the end, you always become what you think. There was a boy who grew up poor. He often said to himself, I will never escape this. His life followed that belief, and he stayed where he was. Another boy, in the same street, looked at the same poverty but thought, I will change my story. That thought pushed him to study, to work, to rise. Years later, he built a new life. The world outside was the same for both, but their inner worlds were different. One saw a wall, the other saw a door. Retention spike. Your thoughts are doors. Some close your life, some open it, and you decide which ones to walk through. Here is the deepest truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the voices that said you cannot. You are the thoughts you choose today. If you choose fear, fear will grow. If you choose courage, courage will grow. If you choose hate, hate will grow. If you choose love, love will grow. And whichever one you feed becomes your life. Maybe you wonder, can I really change my life just by changing my thoughts? The answer is yes, but not in one day. Just like a seed does not become a tree overnight, your new thoughts need time. You must plant them again and again. You must water them with belief. You must protect them from the weeds of doubt, and slowly you will see the growth. One day you will look back and realize, this is not luck. This is not magic. This is the life my thoughts created. Remember, your thoughts are not small. They are power. They shape your feelings. They guide your actions. They build your future. You cannot escape them, but you can shape them. And if you shape them with love, courage, and hope, you will shape a life that shines. So here is the final step in this journey. Live with awareness. Watch your thoughts. Speak to yourself with kindness. Train your mind the way you would train your body. Choose thoughts that give you life. Repeat them, believe them, and soon you will live them. Tonight, when you lie in bed, ask yourself, what did I think most today? If it was fear, forgive yourself and plant hope for tomorrow. If it was doubt, forgive yourself and plant courage. If it was love, plant more love. Because each day is a new garden, and each thought is a seed. You are not helpless. You are not stuck. You are the gardener of your own mind. And whatever you plant, you will harvest. So plant wisely, plant kindly, plant bravely, because in the end, you always become what you think. Thank you, my friend, for staying with me until the end of this journey. I hope these words reached not just your ears, but your heart. I hope they gave you strength for today and vision for tomorrow. Remember this truth. You are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are their master. And with the right thoughts, you can create a life of light, courage, and peace. Subscribe for more motivational audiobooks and stories in easy English. Share this video with someone who needs it. Save this for a time when you feel lost or tired, because the next time you feel weak, you will remember your thoughts are your power, and you become what you think.